Traci girl, the real gag is the girls just don't see it for you, okay? That's why the family relationship is all toe up, because they don't see the value. Episode of Braxton Family Values. Now listen, y'all had been the only reason I watched the episode is y'all damn near flooded my Twitter out talking about Dineva. You gotta talk about Braxton Family Values. You gotta talk about Braxton Family Values. Then I saw the little commercial where Traci looked like she was mushing somebody or mushing the camera. I said, well, let me see what the hell all going on around here. Baby, mama had done got a mouthful with all, quite as together, I want to get a mouthful of Tamar, my African boyfriend, but that's a whole other conversation. Hey, Tamar girl, bitch, you better hold on to his ass, because I know how to treat him, okay? And I'm more classy based than you. Nevertheless, let's get into this episode. Speaking of Tamar and her boyfriend, that's a girl. Why Tamar did that man like that down to that goddamn wine bar? Now listen, from my understanding, he is very successful in the financial world, so on and so forth. And Tamar claims that under the guise of trying to protect him from reality TV, you know, she was shutting it down, this, that, and the third. But it was the way she went about doing it. Putting her hand in his face, shutting him up, being dismissive. Stop talking. Like, you can't make me believe that Tamar lacks self-awareness to the point in which she does not recognize that it's rude before she's doing it and while she's doing it. And for the sake of argument, if she does lack that much self-awareness, then I am convinced that her brain is broken. Like, how do you not know this is rude to your man, telling a man to be quiet and shut up and stop talking? Like, come on already. And it's so funny because I'm looking through my notes and it's exhausting. I don't even have the motivation to go through all of this because this girl irks my spirit so much with her damn antics. Nevertheless, so something this big turns into something this big. Kevin simply brought the men, I almost said guitars, cigars. Men do that all the time. You know, here, you're having a baby, here goes a cigar. You take the gift, and if you don't smoke it, you put the shit in the drawer. Do you know how many cigars I got? Quiet as it's kept, Kevin, if you come right here, you probably can assemble 40 or 50 of them because I get them all the time when I go to social functions, and I don't smoke the stank shits. There was nothing wrong with him taking the cigar, and there was nothing wrong with him, you know, fellowshipping with the guys. If he doesn't smoke, he did not have to smoke. But Tamar takes something this small, makes it this big. Then they go outside and they're smoking cigars, which is very classy based, might I add. And she yells, "This is ghetto," and walks off. No, Tamar, what is ghetto is you. You, the blonde hair, the neck rolls, all the gay euphemisms that you've stolen and won't give back, the friend group that you keep. That's what's ghetto. The fact that you won't hang out with no females on your level because you so envious and jealous hearted, but you hang out with lower level punks that kind of look up to you and have to be your do boys. That's what's ghetto. Nevertheless, somebody needs to help me understand, because I didn't watch all this season, with Traci and Tamar. What is the real problem? Now, I speculate what the problem is. You know, I was going to save this for the end of the video, but let me just go ahead and give it to you raw like this now. Traci, with all due respect, the reason you feel the way you feel as it relates to your sisters is because you add no value to the Braxton brand. All right, somebody has said it. That's why they're able to treat you like, oh, that's just Traci. Oh, that's just Traci, or as an afterthought. And unfortunately, that compounded with your previous trauma with your sister signing the record contracts and stuff is created for this big old hoopla of a situation. Unfortunately, Traci, the Braxton singing brand was created, recreated, and fortified many times over without you. While you were out doing the mommy, marriage, and I think you were a hairdresser in your previous life. While you were out doing that thing. And it sounds ugly, but you are of no true value to the Braxton band, singing brand. And thus for you're treated as such. Even down to them allowing you to sing on their shows and open and close shows or whatever it is. It's charity work. Because again, on your own, you would not be able to secure those type of venues. And on your own, independent of your sisters, no one is really checking for you like that musically. You know what I'm saying? It's just a fact. It's not being disrespectful. It's just a fact. And what you're feeling is them basically treating you in accordance to the value that you bring to the brand. Is it right? I don't know. Depends on who's answering the question. And is it fair? No. But is it what it is? Yes. Traci is going to have to let go trying to reclaim what she did not get musically all those years ago. The question that I have for Traci, what did you want your sisters to do? Let's not pretend like record deals are jobs at Family Dollar where you just turn down one and get another one. Especially when the deal was coming from L.A. Reid and Babyface or whichever label the girls got signed to. When you get a music or an acting opportunity, you have to seize the moment when it presents itself. You know, Traci, unfortunately, and you were young, I hate to hold a young mistake against somebody. You did this to yourself. You got pregnant. So why is it that they, all these years later, should have to pay for your, and I don't want to call your pregnancy or your baby a mistake, but they want to pay for your piss poor family planning? What did you expect them to do? And I do think Traci did find peace being a hairdresser before this show came along. I think this show came along, gave Traci a taste of celebrity, and then you put that celebrity on top of that unhealed yet suppressed family trauma, and it's like, now I want to be a singer again, and now I want y'all to hold me on the same regard in this family and in this standing. And unfortunately, your role in the family has always been the charity case. And don't get me twisted, and I get what's going on. Part of what's going on right now is a shift in the power dynamic. You're performing, you're gaining some celebrity, you're getting money from the show, you're getting money from your singing, and now you no longer want to be the role that you've been in for the last 29 years. But it's hard for them to see you any other way, because that's just Traci, who's on the outskirts of what we really got going on, and that's our charity case sister. That's the dynamic that's fighting, and I think why it's increasingly worse with Tamar is because Tamar is the more insensitive of the sisters. So whereas Tawanda and Trina may be passive with theirs, or Tony may be dismissive or obligatory to, or oblivious to what's going on, Tamar is the one who reinforces those feelings of I'm less than. And I think that is why Tamar and Traci bump head so much. Tamar's the whole I'm spoiled thing, but Traci's is Tamar's attitude reinforces those negative feelings of I'm not worthy, I'm not part of the bunch. And to be honest with you, when I went to Florida State University and got my degree in economics, some people ain't teach me nothing about psychology or family healing. But I think just as long as Traci tries to pursue entertainment and music, this is always going to be a problem. Traci, you gave it a good go round. If I was you, I literally would find my lane, something that I could be good at that's incomparable to my sisters, that I could be equally as great at that as they are with singing. Not to mention, Traci, yeah, your singing is all right. You're good enough for a little yang, yang, yang around the house, but it's not even like you're walking around with Tamar's voice or even Tony's for you to want to be pursuing singing the way you are. Like, real talk, and I'm not being shady or trying to be mean. Independent of the Braxtons, let's just say God only invented Traci Braxton. Do y'all think Traci Braxton right now musically could hold up to who is in the market right now? And the answer is no. And Traci, independently, you would not have been able to hold up in the market. Damn sure wouldn't have been able to hold up in the market when your sister them came out with the Mickey Howards and the Deborah Coxes and all them girls like that. So let go of the fantasy. You know what I'm saying? It didn't happen for you. It doesn't mean something else of greater, proportions can't. And it will, but you're going to have to let this go, Traci, because it's causing problems. Tamar sits down with Tony. I don't skip from the rooter to the tutor, from the root to the beginning, but we're going to still get through this. Tamar sits down with Tony. Tony was very rational. I love the advice that Tony gave Tamar in reference to, you need to speak with Traci and you need to not treat your man that way in terms of putting your hand on him. He's still a man. Let me tell you something. Tamar is going to fuck around and lose that man, because I'm going to tell you what I see in David's eyes. He's extremely patient. He's extremely patient. But he's a finance person. So he's very calculated. And he's a very evidence gathering kind of person. There's not going to be a gray area with David. One day Tamar is going to think she's blissfully in love, and the next day that man going to walk in the room and say, you know what, I don't want to do this anymore. You know what I'm saying? And she's not going to see it coming if she don't change her ways. No adult wants to be treated that way. No self-sufficient or man that makes the type of money that he makes wants to be treated that way. Like, it'd be different if he was a man that was benefiting from being with you. That man was already self-made before you even came along. That's why you want him. That ain't gonna last long when he can go find a slew of other women who would love to have him, especially considering the fact that now you don't plaster his face across TV and we all know who the fuck he is, okay? Watch out, bitches. I'm finna find out where the fuck your show's at and be down to the hotel sitting at the bar with no panties on the dance floor, okay? It's drinking old nasty drink like Bernadine from Wait and Exhale. And when you go upstairs to change your makeup and change your clothes, I'm gonna be sitting there looking all seductive. Like this. Is this seat taken? It is now. How you doing? Bernie. Single and ready to mingle. And I know how to be quiet. And I know how to treat you. Well, I looked into that light, it don't blind me. Nevertheless, when I first started watching this episode, mind you, I've got very little experience with Trina's fiance, Vaughn. And I was thinking to myself, Trina, please don't marry this man. I was like, oh my God, he's boring. He looks too serious. He looked like he's sitting in an armchair all day and read the newspaper. He looked like he'd be sitting back judging the fuck out of you when you be drunk. I was like, ooh, I just don't like it. He's too monotone. He reminds me of Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh. He's got a very, dark, solemn, serious presence. And it's like, bitch, I'm a fun kind of, like, I initially was feeling like I can't be around somebody like Vaughn. He's too serious. And that's not a negative thing. I mean, it's just his personality. Perhaps he can't help it. But I will say this. When he proposed at the table, I was really turned on and struck by his directness. I love you. I want to be with you. I never thought I would feel this way about anybody. So I want to know, would you do me the honor? Like the way... There are parts of that seriousness that works for me. And the way he was speaking to her, I was like, you know what? I'm with this. He's a succinct man. He's very finite in his thinking, and that works for me. I just question if it will work long term. Now, he seemed to loosen up a little bit in his confessionals when he was joking and telling jokes and laughing or whatever. He's a beautiful man. I think he's great. I just really wonder about the compatibility factor with those two. Now, Tamar, excuse me, the time you should have mentioned something was ghetto was when they pulled their dice out at the table. Now, listen to you Tawanda, did you get this man off the wire? I know y'all from Baltimore or whatever the case may be, but you need to leave his ass on whatever stoop you got him from, because it is not appropriate to bring a pocket full of ones. And quiet as it's kept, I ain't finna judge this man's occupation based on his looks. I was about to ask, was that your money he threw on the table, aka Tony money that don't trickle down to you and subsequently to him? But that's a whole nother video. But if your ass don't went out there and got another goddamn Andre, you's a fool if I ever seen one. And I'm gonna leave it at that till I find out the economic makeup and background of this gentleman that you with. But I think Sean's a great guy. I really do enjoy his energy. When they were at the table, the shooting dice table, and Tamar was just at the table acting so not interested. To be quite honest, as a family, y'all just need to divorce her. If TD can't fix it, if Iyanla can't fix it, if Dr. Sherry can't fix it, if Black Twitter can't fix it, and if at looking back on your behavior across all these seasons can't fix it, I'm just really starting to think that she is fundamentally broken. Maybe she need medication. Like, I don't know. And you know what's baffling for me with Tamar? Because most times when you see people act this way for so long, you see progress and you see some sort of acknowledgement of their behavior and their ways. And I'm just not believing this. You can't teach an old dog new tricks. And I'm sorry, I refuse to believe that Tamar is not aware of what she's doing. I think she just don't give a fuck. She just don't give a fuck. It's all about me. And to be honest, it's rooted in insecurity. That shit is rooted in straight up insecurity and feeling worthless. Like, deep down inside, that's why she needs so much attention. You know what I'm saying? Y'all, I'm just gonna say this shit. Braxton sisters, low-key, y'all about need to get off TV for a little bit. It's so funny because your family and your mother prides herself so much on being of the church and being a woman of the cloth and this. And if this what it means to have a mother of the church and a family of the church and to be raising, I don't want it. Like, for y'all to be so saved and so holy and so filled with the scripture, y'all are fucked up. Y'all are fucked up. Like, I know bitches living in the projects right now who family down like 4 flat tires. Bitches, 30 of them always be at the house having a cookout, about to jump the family 2 houses over because they stole their clothes off the clothing line. Them hoes get along. They share stamps. They share men's. They share Pampers. They share it all. For y'all to be that close to the salvation, somebody gonna have to make that shit make sense for me. And I'm gonna go ahead and say this. Y'all mama fucked y'all up. She did. She really did. She did a number on y'all. Tamar going off about that gift. Now y'all know I gives Tamar hell. And granted, Tamar got enough money to buy whatever she want to buy, and anything y'all could have bought Tamar, she could buy herself. But I do feel her on the sense that between 5 of y'all got me a pair of sunglasses and a card. Tamar, that showed what they feel, which was just disregard. It was a symbolic gesture. It was like, oh girl, just stop and get a, oh Tony, you at Neiman's? Just get some glasses. We gonna all put our name on it. It goes to show though, Tamar, how disinterested they were in fucking celebrating you. They didn't care. They didn't. Because had they really cared, they all would have gotten you a damn gift. But Tamar, it's probably your fault that people just like, yeah, whatever, get something. You make people feel that way. What was sad was when Vaughn proposed to Trina and then Tamar walked off and was like, congratulations, fuck that bitch Trina. I'm like, damn, why you mad at Trina? Granted, her man proposed to her and you felt the way, but why was it fuck that bitch Trina? Trina didn't do anything. I was kind of feeling Vaughn too when he was like, Tamar live streamed the situation and people knew before they had an opportunity to tell their family. Now Vaughn, in Tamar's defense, her thing was already running. You know what I'm saying? Before you opted to do this. And at first I was rocking with Tamar when she was like, this is my birthday, whatever, whatever. But then when Dave and Vaughn sat down and talked, Vaughn was like, her birthday was last night. We did the whole cake and this is dedicated to your birthday. Tonight, we just at dinner. Like, we're at dinner. So let's take a poll. Do you think that it was inappropriate for Vaughn to propose to Trina at that moment? Drop down in the comments and let's see what the people say. When Tony called Sean Andre, I couldn't do nothing but laugh. And you know, it was funny, and I'm glad that Sean was a good sport about it. But it's a force of habit, so we're gonna let that slide. We're gonna let it ride. David and Tawanda's man meet at the pool, and they decide that, you know, maybe the ladies should talk. I don't understand why Traci was so upset about Sean thinking they should talk, and I don't see it as an ambush either. Sean's reaction was only normal. He was trying to help, and normal people typically are in conflict with others because of some sort of miscommunication. I really don't see, and it's not one of those, you ain't been around, you don't know me, so you don't have grounds to say we should talk. I don't fucking have to. That's actually what makes the situation worse. I don't have to know you long to know that y'all sitting in a ball of dysfunction. And that y'all need to talk it out. And I've been around y'all long enough to know y'all habits. Y'all keep having these side conversations around each other. That you sit at these dinners and breakfasts and playing your damn phone with this passive aggressive behavior. Like y'all are some toxic ass sisters for one another. And this is honestly what I think. With the average lifespan of a human being 70 something plus years old, and all of y'all are in y'all 40s, many of y'all mid to upper 40s, you only got, you know, a solid 25 years left on life. If y'all can get this shit together, go on about your business. Go on about your business and just come to the house on Christmas and Thanksgiving. Lord knows that's what the fuck I do with certain members of my damn family. And I keep it so surface level at those events that there's no way possible we can get into any type of altercation. Because bitch, you only see me 2 times a year. Okay? That's what y'all need to do. Vaughn and David talking. And Vaughn feeling like Tamar stole their moment. I already touched on that. I was going to say Traci's confessional. Traci's confessional, she went the hell off on Tawanda man. Like, he don't know me, and he don't know. I already talked about that. Traci playing solitaire when they get to the table. That's what I'm talking about, these passive-aggressive games. Why come out of your hotel room and come infect the table with your attitude? And I hate when people do this, especially black people. We good for this shit. You throwing non-verbal shade. Then when somebody call you on it, you do this number. What? I ain't doing nothing. I ain't say nothing. I'm just over here minding my business. Like, cut that passive aggressive shit out. If we're all at the table having a dinner, you're supposed to be interactive. You like this. You're sending a message. The message that you're trying to send is, I'm mad, I'm disinterested, I don't want to engage with y'all. If that was the case, you should have kept your orange hair ass the fuck upstairs, you and your husband. The guys decide they're going to leave and let y'all talk. I thought that was fair. I don't think Sean overstepped any boundaries by simply suggesting y'all talk. He didn't get in the middle of it. He was just saying y'all should talk. Traci decides to walk off and she says she's one of the fellas because she's not family. There goes that reoccurring theme. Y'all don't have my back. I'm on the outside looking in. Now I will say something. When Traci's husband had that conversation with Tawanda at the very last scene, she said that y'all have always had support. When y'all have an issue, y'all can go to each respective sister. Traci has only had me. And I guess because Traci's interest has always varied from theirs. You see what I'm saying? Like, if we're the three backup singers to Tony, or we the three members in the group, and she has an issue with what's going on with us musically, of course we're going to turn to one another. And I guess I get Traci's upset. I really do. I get Traci's upset. We just got to figure out a way to help our sister heal. And I honestly and truthfully think the way for her to do it is to completely remove herself from the whole singing and trying to fit in with the Braxton singing brand. That ship has sailed. This singing shit has caused her so much pain. And I don't even know what happened in New York. I just keep hearing them referring to New York, and she not doing this show and she not doing that show. This singing shit seems to be the catalyst for a lot of the dysfunction between the group and Traci. And Traci, you're going to have to make the executive decision, especially considering the fact that you add very little value to the singing brand. Let that singing shit go. I really do think that's the best advice. Let it go. Like, you know, Traci, you could have made a damn living being the Braxton family hairstylist, the Braxton family stylist, kind of like Goo did, seeing as though you styled hair for so long, versus being resentful and bitter about this singing stuff. Because singing does not pay the bills. Singing does not put food on the table. Do you know how many people standing out there in the corner singing they shoulda, coulda, wouldas? Is that how you want to end up? Rita Louise Watson, that's a little sister act too for the girls that don't know. And last but not least, Traci and Tawana meet at the end, and Traci was so mean, especially to Sean, and Sean was looking like, you know, and they did ask a very valid point. Kevin, you've been with us for 30 years. How the fuck you gonna get mad at a stranger trying to facilitate the situation when you could have? And I hate this whole, the men don't get involved. Fuck that shit. We not talking about friends. We talking about family. And if you are a man who can better represent your wife's interests and communicate it to the family and be somewhat a neutral party between the two, then why not? You know what I'm saying? You are just as complicit in this dysfunction as they are, Kevin, because you sat back for 30 years and didn't do anything. And that's just true tea. Especially when you could have. Because look where staying out of it has gotten you. Nowhere. You know what I'm saying? It's one thing, the first 5 years I was married to her, I stayed out of it. The first 10 years of our marriage, I stayed out of it. Excuse me, I farted. The first 15 years, I stayed out of it. But damn, bitch, you've been around for 30 years. Like, really? Nah, Kevin, your ass is equally as complicit. And I'm going to tell you something. You gaslight Traci. Instead of telling Traci to move on and baby, we should do this, you sit there and you gaslight her and you feed into her upset. And I'm going to tell you something. As a friend and as a man, it's not always your job to tell that person the truth. Sometimes it's your job to protect your friend and to protect your wife. And I think, Kevin, you should do a better job from shielding Traci from some of this stuff by diverting her attentions and her energy somewhere else. That's all I got. Ain't got no more. Hate it or love it. I'm gonna shine. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll call y'all hoes later. Happy Friday, bitch. Bye.